Today is all about the Build-A-Flower Bellflower. Hi, it's Therese from Lostinpaper, and today I'm going to be making a card using the new Bellflower set from Altenew. I am working on a piece of cardstock here. It's cut to the same size as the front of my card because this is an almost one layer card. I thought I'd just actually put the whole card front. I wanted it stamped out with these bellflowers. Just reminds me of like the fields of bluebells that you can walk through. I used to do this when we lived in Guernsey. It was amazing. Anyway, the set comes with a really long stem here that you can add the flowers to, and there are some guides within the packaging if you need inspiration, but basically you can add the flowers wherever you want. So on these stems, so what I did was actually stamp out the stems first, made sure that I left some space between them so that I could fit the flowers in there. And now I'm just looking at the biggest flower of the set. From memory, I think there's 3 flowers in total in this set, and they're all layering flowers. And I figured the biggest one is going to be the hardest one for me to place, and I want to try and add it a couple of times. It's not going to be my main focus, but I do want to add the difference of a few of the flowers within these 2 stems. So this is a new set, and I do actually add my ink. I decided to use my blocks to stamp out today because if I was using my Misty for this, it would be more accurate, but it would have taken me forever. So I figured I'm just going to wing it and stamp it out. So when I'm adding my ink to a solid stamp like this, if it's a new stamp, I prep it like I am doing here with an eraser. It's just a white plastic eraser. And I am pressing fairly hard when I do this. I actually want to kind of add a coat of the eraser to that. If it's an older stamp, you don't need to worry about that. I use lots of Altenew ink. So the way I add the ink to my stamp, I tend to twist the ink pad and then tap it. And that way I know there's going to be a lot of ink and there shouldn't be any lines on my stamp as well. Generally speaking, I will bring my ink to the stamp, so I actually lay my stamp down and tap my ink pad on top. I'm being a bit lazy here. I'm just tapping my stamp to my ink, but I do find that I get better coverage if I do it the other way around. So you can see I've started off here by just adding a base of where all my flowers are going to be. I've added all different, like the 3 different flowers. I've added 2 large ones, 2 middle ones, and then I've just filled in the rest with the smaller image. I do clean off my stamp in between just using chamois, and I am actually trying out cleaning with a microfiber cloth as well at the moment, so I'll let you know how that goes. My problem is I've been trying to get the Brutus Monroe cleaning stuff here. I've been using the Ultra Clean, which is really good, but I thought I'd give something else a go. I'm a bit of a freak when it comes to trying out new things. Someone says that it's good, and they swear by it. I want to give it a go. The blues that I've got today are the set from the Lapis Lazuli, and I am using all 4 layers. These stamps do have 4 layers for each of the flowers, and by the time I'm getting near the end of this, I wasn't as careful with my stamping. And the last layer, these were quite easy to line up, I felt, but the very last layer was, because it's a finer layer, it didn't I didn't stamp it out as perfectly as I would have liked, but I'll show you how I fix that in a moment. The greens that I'm using here are the, I think it's the Green Valley greens. Fresh, oh no it's not, it's the ones from the Spring Bouquet set. And I thought this was a really pretty green to pair with the blue. And this is how I fix my stamping. If I'm not 100% happy with how the edges are, or if I've got a white gap, or I want to add some shading, I actually come in with my Prismacolor pencils. And here I've just chosen colours that are exactly the same colours as the inks that I've used. And then I can just add the lines that I wasn't really happy with. It does take a little bit of extra time, but I think it's worth it. And to me, it just makes me happy. I wouldn't have to start all over again. Otherwise, I would have been tempted to start the whole thing all over again because it wasn't perfectly stamped. And you know what? It doesn't need to be. You can't actually tell when you look at the card that I've added those details with the pencil. The sentiment today, I've heat embossed on some dark grey cardstock, and it's from the Geometric Flowers set. I really love the retro feel of this sentiment. And now it's time to put all my things together, my card together. I've added some adhesive to the panel, adding it to the front of a top fold card, and then I can just pop up my sentiment. So this card is part of a hop to celebrate the release of the Build-A-Flower set, and it's now August 2019. So if you're here, head through the link below and you can see all the pics, all the links to everything that I've used. But you can also find everyone else on the hop at my blog, and you can also find out the details on how you can win. So I look forward to seeing you there. If you like this video, please like it. If you haven't already, I'd love it if you'd subscribe to my YouTube channel. I love your visits here and I read every single comment. So till next time, happy paper crafting. Bye.